All right, how to make the cheapest garden grow lights for indoors, just to increase the light of those plants. If you haven't got a greenhouse, you haven't got money for loads of expensive lights. I mean, I've never bought really expensive lights. These were the ones I started with. I use these for art, for illuminating my canvas while I'm painting. And then I realized I could add a daylight bulb, and before I know it, I had a grow light. So they're sort of, you can find them in any DIY store, bargain store. They're clip on. You can see how cheap they are. £3.49. They come with a socket to plug, sorry, a plug, a socket to screw the bulb into, and a on and off switch, and then a clip on the back so you can clip it onto anything to angle it, onto your plant. Now I use the shoe rack, the very cheap bamboo shoe rack that I also happen to buy in the same store. It's also £2.99. I actually do stack them on top of each other as well. And then here you can see the bulb illuminating. There are some proper grow lights underneath. This is a proper grow light, by the way, it is. And then I will clip, if I want to grow more than this kiwi here, I will clip 4 on each of the legs of the shoe rack. Now, the socket itself is not obviously a grow light. What you need is the actual correct bulb, that is the daylight bulb that will help your plant grow. Only 2 weeks ago, this kiwi was literally a stick with not even any buds, and I wasn't sure it was actually going to survive. So I put it on my shoe rack and I put it on a shelf that didn't have my other grow lights on it, and I attached this bulb, one of my many of, because I have many of these clips, sockets now with these daylight bulbs, and I put my kiwi under there, and within, a day, buds started to appear, and within a week I had these lovely leaves. Now it does have a north-facing window behind it, so it does get some more radiant light, natural light, but also it gets this daylight light as well. But the bulb is the key. So let's talk about the bulb that you need to grow your plants with. So you need to look at that. It must say a daylight light, as you can see on this label here, and it must be between 5,000 or 6,500 Kelvin, K, and that will indicate the strength of light, daylight. So it's a nice blue daylight. Now, the other thing we need to look at is lumens. So 1,521 lumens is probably about half what you need to grow larger plants, and possibly even more than that to get them to flower. But we're just doing winter sowing indoors, so we don't need all that light. We're just giving the plant supplementary light. We're trying to trick the plant into thinking it's further on in the season, i.e. it's early spring rather than winter. It won't give the plant enough light to flower, but it will give the plant enough light to trick it into thinking it's spring. And the great thing about the clip is that you can use it to clip onto a window frame to just boost that winter light if you're growing plants on a window ledge. Or if you just want to boost the light over a particular house plant you've got indoors. Now, that being said, if you have shorter summers and longer winters, so you're going to be growing those plants longer indoors, you can stack lumens on top of each other. So if you have 2 of these bulbs, that's going to take you to 3,000. And if you have 4, you will have 6,000 lumens. And that's a really good, strong summer light. So you can increase the number of lumens as your plant gets bigger. As your plant gets bigger, it will need more lumens. Which means if you have a longer winter and spring, you can adjust the amount of lights to keep your plants growing until you can get them outside. So more lumens means the plant thinks it's summer, it's getting summer light. Less lumens can be sort of winter, spring light. If you think about your spring germinating plants that would germinate naturally in spring, the light levels are still low anyway, not as low as they are indoors. So really all you're trying to do is bring your indoor levels of light up to more daylight, more outside levels of light in spring, not the height of summer. So more commercial greenhouses will use like 6,000 lumens and actually get their plants to flower indoors. So these sort of big commercial all year round suppliers of flowers and food. But that's not what we're doing here. We're just boosting the light levels to get ahead of the curve. Just as you would use a heat mat to trick your seeds into thinking that it's further on, it's warmer, it's spring. You're just doing exactly the same things by boosting those light levels, which of course increase in spring through to the height of summer when those light levels are really strong. And if you think about that, you could probably tailor, you could experiment with it and probably tailor it depending on what zone you're in. By adding more light bulbs as your plant gets bigger and bigger and closer to going outside in the garden. Now, because they're bulbs, of course, you've got all the light in one place. So you can think about diffusing the light with foil. You could wrap foil around these bamboo. I mean, this is only in my garage, so I don't really care what it looks like. If you're doing it in a basement, you probably don't either. And, really that's it. It really is just a boost for your plants to trick them into starting a bit earlier. It's complementary. It supplements any heat you're using. If you're on a windowsill above a radiator, you're just adding to that spring light feeling by just giving them that little bit more light. Anyway, if you like this video and you think it helps and you might want to have a go at this, let me know in the comments how you get on. And don't forget to like, subscribe and click the notification bell. And I'll see you again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.